Thorfinn lost his father at an early age, because of his mind not being developed at that point. As he was merely a child, Thorfinn could only act out internal impulses. His body seems to hold strong aggression, which gets let out after the death of his most beloved person. That death turned his love into a vicious hate and a desire for revenge. Friedrich Nietzsche's concept of the will to power refers to the fundamental drive for self-affirmation, the pursuit of goals, and the exercise of personal agency. Thorfinn's early motivations are driven by revenge, a desire to avenge his father's death. Later, living with Askeladd and his Vikings only worsened the matter. Young Thorfinn could only imitate the brutality of the warriors. Thorfinn was no longer the child of Thors and pacifism, he was the child of revenge and hatred, embodied in Askeladd. However, with time and the failure of his revenge quest, Thorfinn's philosophy shifts, and thus his will to power. One from revenge and destructiveness to a more peaceful and meaningful existence. I have no enemies. Thorfinn's life was supposed to be sheltered away from war. His father, Thors, lived through hell and decided that it is enough. It is no world where he wants to raise his children. The German philosopher Immanuel Kant advocated for a categorical imperative, which states that one should only abide to a self-rule that could be applied on a global scale as a general rule. Thors was a warrior, though the birth of his children changed his heart. All that Viking violence led to the suffering of people, and even that of their own people, as Vikings fought amongst each other. Kant's imperative is, for example, don't steal medicine from someone else if you don't want everyone to do that when in need. Or don't kill if you don't want everyone to be allowed to kill. Thors started following that principle by not killing, because once war is at your doorstep, your family and children are in danger. Thors' character shows how the vengeful spirit of killing follows you all life. Killing only might benefit you, and that even isn't quite true. Now it was Thorfinn's turn. He inherited his father's aggression and the world's want for war. Child Thorfinn understood one thing: only those who are strong survive. A true warrior meant fighting and killing for one's survival. Sadly, Thorfinn's sole aim for a long while was Askeladd and his death. He who has a why to live for can bear with almost any how. This is a quote by Friedrich Nietzsche. This philosophical sentence states that any form of a life can be bearable as long as one has a reason for going forwards. Thorfinn could bear all that misery and violence and suffering in war because he wanted to get stronger and finally kill Askeladd in a duel. A quote by Askeladd himself adds a counterpoint. A fight you can't win becomes an obsession. An obsession is not a why. It can be a temporary and superficial reason to live. Herman Melville's Captain Ahab gets entangled in the line of his harpoon with which he pierced Moby Dick, a whale upon which he so passionately wanted to exact revenge. Captain Ahab's descent into the depths of the water by the very thing he wanted to kill has an interesting parallel to Thorfinn's dream. He dreams of having to climb a ravine at the bottom of which sits Askeladd. Both works indicate a form of a demise and a literal fall into the dark depths. Where Vinland Saga is interesting, however, is that Askeladd, in that image, helps Thorfinn escape it. Thorfinn is not supposed to stay or find his end there. Thorfinn, after so much death, understands it. He gets why Thors tried to teach him his philosophy that a true warrior doesn't need a weapon in hand. But then again, life is never that straightforward as to listen to the wisdom of one's parents. Vinland Saga displays that and adds an element of suspense. The story needed some flavor at the end of the day, and a plain philosophical allegory is no fun. Man is something that shall be overcome. What have you done to overcome him? Nietzsche challenges individuals to question their progress in overcoming their own limitations and to strive for self-improvement. It urges individuals to transcend their current state and become something greater. Thorfinn had to overcome his anger, vengeful thoughts, and aggression. A human is not complete until he has not sinned and then carried his cross in a feat of redemption. Interestingly enough, Thorfinn, a pagan Viking, comes to a very Christian conclusion in the end. His slave arc is just that, a chapter of his life meant for redemption. Thorfinn reaches a very important conclusion. I have no enemies. One must strive for self-realization and self-actualization. During that journey, one strives to discover and embrace his true self, overcoming societal expectations and external influences.